We just keep adding stop signs, you know?
Too many places to stop.
And this is exactly why you tune in to a podcast of white gentlemen, because we're just complaining about stop signs.
I mean, there is the new traffic pattern on the square. You know, we could talk about that.
We could talk about how they're just like ripping the shit up and that businesses have to be like, hey, we're still open, people.
No,
Yeah,
but-
exactly.
Well, we could actually get into it. It's TxDOT, not the city. but-
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true.
I like how they didn't give the city notice either, and the city like frantically set out like communications on Friday. Was like, we just found out yesterday everything's about to be fucked on Monday, like
For a month.
or more.
Or they're guessing a month.
The
but
city
probably,
told
yeah.
them it has to be done in a month, and TxDOT said, "Cool, it won't be."
Yeah. They were like, we won't even show up for a month.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Are they just repaving those roads?
Yes.
Yeah,
basically.
but they're closing down like 2 of them.
It's
Oh, I know.
TxDOT
Yeah.
owns those roads, and they're transferring ownership to the city, but the city won't accept them until they fix them first.
Oh.
And TxDOT has had like 7 years to do it, and they're just like, all right, we're going to do that now.
My God.
So
Yay!
know.
Hey,
that's how cities
better
work.
roads. Yeah,
Well,
cities
te-
work well.
Those
Better
roads aren't even
roads
that bad.
temporarily.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick better roads to fix in this fucking town.
Yeah. Yes.
There are some roads that need to be fixed, and I'll tell you, it's not those 2.
No.
But hey, whatever. They want to do that to Denton businesses. Hey, feel free.
It feels retaliatory.
I think you had it right
State.
the first
I think
time.
I did. Yeah.
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 I think retaliatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But keep adding syllables.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
Retaliatory?
But, oh, there you go.
I got it. Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam.
Oh, boy.
I wish Adam was just one time would be like, I'm Hagen. I'm Dave. I'm Adam.
You want him to pause?
Yeah, I want him to be late on that too.
Okay.
I can tell if you wanted to pause for dramatic effect.
No.
Or because
Well,
he
yeah.
forgot his name.
If yeah,
It would be
He
fun.
got
I'm
distracted.
Sometimes I do kind of think like I'm hearing in my head, you're gonna say it, and I'm like tempted to be like, I'm Dave, and that's not right.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
catch
Please
myself.
don't, because
Yeah.
you're not me.
Yeah.
Or you just you get caught in like the pleasantries trap where it's like the enjoy your movie you too kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to Don't
Have
Be
a
the
nice
Artist.
flight, you too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like hi, welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen, and then I'm Don't Be the Artist, and then
Right.
you could get
I'm artist.
yeah. You get caught in whatever that trap is here. How are you guys doing?
Cheeky. No, I'm not doing good.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Okay.
The world's on fire.
Is it?
How about yours?
What's worse recently?
What? I mean, come on. I guess, yeah, deep down inside, I don't feel like I'm doing good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because that happens. It comes in waves.
Okay. Yeah.
It's nothing to be worried about.
Okay.
But I see the look of concern on at least Adam's face. Hagen's smiling at me.
He lowered his chair and everything.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
lowered my chair.
Yeah. Was that for me?
Be on
Sure.
your level.
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, now
It's
we're on the
hot.
same page.
All of
We're
my,
at the end of summer.
almost all the reasons I would say I'm not doing good, I think stem from the fact that it's so hot out.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand what you're saying.
We're almost done.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Next week looks pretty good.
It seems like we're done with 100 at least.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is good.
going to wane.
Yeah, maybe.
I also like when someone says, "How are you doing?" and you give an honest answer.
Yeah.
It's
How are you
true.
guys
That's
doing? I'm not good.
I do also prefer that. Yeah.
How are you doing?
How am I doing? You don't want to know the answer to that question.
Oh, but see that we just talked about this.
I'm great.
Okay. do you believe a fucking second of that,
No,
Adam?
no.
What? No, I'm good. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the Lord's, the God's honest truth about this.
Okay.
The truth is that I wish that I could do my job alone and never have to work with another fucking person again.
I feel like
And
a lot of
then-
people think this.
but then the fucking problem, well, the whole loop of the problem then is that it's like, oh, but when we get to do our job with people, it's sometimes the best thing in the world, and nothing is better than that. But then in all the other times, it's like, God, I wish you weren't here. I wish that I could do all this by myself. Yeah,
Sounds
that's
like you have a trouble giving up control over parts of your job.
no. It's that I don't have control. It's that
Oh, you have none. Yeah.
It's that I'm not the one, which is great because I've spent so many situations of my life being the one in control and being the one in charge of a lot of things, especially when it comes to like music related stuff. And to not be that person is awesome, and to set those boundaries is very good. But then to just be like sit here and now be at the will of others is like, this is fucking stupid. So that's otherwise it's the new WoW expansion came out, so I'm doing great.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's the silver linings.
It's a pretty great silver lining. Yeah. Adam, how about you?
How are you?
You playing WoW?
No, I'm
You
not.
fucker.
Can't say I am. I honestly keep always forgetting that WoW exists till people talk about it again. Every like couple of years, there's like a wave of some people I know playing WoW.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a game that stopped in the mid 2000s.
Oh no.
It came out in the mid 2000s.
I also thought it stopped.
Well, Warcraft.
I didn't realize they still like put out
expansions.
Yeah.
The game Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, they were out in the 90s.
Sure.
And then World of Warcraft came out in 2004, I believe. And then has been around. Yeah, 2004 is the 20-year anniversary and has been around since.
I just assumed like people were clinging to a video game that they played 20 years ago, as people do, myself included.
Much
Sometimes.
longer than
Like,
20 years, too.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
They are, though, but also because you can literally play a version of the game that is the original version of the game that has nothing except the original. Like that's a whole thing.
All right, so I'm like half right, half wrong.
Yeah. A little
Still
of this,
a little
of that,
surprising,
yeah.
but no, I'm not playing WoW.
I thought you were
Never
gonna go, man, but no, I'm not doing well.
Well, that's the question. How are you doing?
Okay,
All right.
I also would prefer to work by myself sometimes. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably different reasons, but
Sounds pretty magical.
yeah.
Just to keep vaguely talking
Having
about
done
it.
that before, it's pretty great.
The life of a musician sometimes feels like there's a fine line between networking and begging.
Yeah, I mean,
That could be a whole hour and a half.
I know.
it's definitely a fine line on that, and then it's also like I think truly a fine line on how you how you communicate and work with others that you are sharing such a great thing as music with, because music ends up being such a thing where you are sharing like a bond with somebody, and then there's it's really hard to avoid like a what I'll call just like a personal bond. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to say friendship, but just like you now have shared, especially if you play with someone for a long time and multiple times, like you share something with them. And now you have to go, cool, we have to now figure out how to navigate this relationship in a way where everyone's going to get treated the most fair way possible. Or someone's going to say, fuck you and be done.
Yeah.
And get their butthole hurt. So
Happens all the time.
yeah, I get my butthole hurt all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, not that truthful.
gotta-
Don't be that honest.
Oh, sorry. Was that TMI? Jesus Christ, man. So we have some news to cover for today, and it'll get us into our main thing we're here to talk about, which I think everybody probably has. If you're any sort of kind of fan of us, you probably know what we're going to talk about leading up to this, or the title of the episode kind of gives it away. But I have a couple things I want to talk about first. So first off, I want to talk about Anthony Fantano and Ronnie Radke. Do you guys know who Ronnie Radke is?
No.
Okay, Ronnie Radke is a vocalist for a band called Falling in Reverse. He also has like a solo project, and he is a piece of shit. So I'm going to go back in the time machine a little bit. He has been accused of things like sexual assault. He has been accused of many things, and it seems like he's come out the other side with a little bit of not enough proof to prove he did anything, but still not great.
I do recognize this guy's face.
Yeah. He's kind of like a figurehead for a lot of like metalheads who love to see that kind of guy who's like, well, he just doesn't give a shit. Like what happened? Like he's his own dude. Like everyone tries to take him down. It's like, well, it's kind of a coincidence. You don't think it's a coincidence that people keep trying to do that? So in 2023, Anthony Fantano made a video called "This Guy Sucks." and it was specifically about Ronnie Radke and specifically about all the accusations. And he kind of went down the whole rabbit hole of each single thing. And Ronnie Radke had told him at the time, like, if you don't take this down, I'm gonna seek legal action. And Anthony Fantano said, nope.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. So he did seek legal action. And according to documents, Falling in Reverse frontman Ronnie Radke has filed a defamation lawsuit against music critic Anthony Fantano. The lawsuit was filed last week. He's seeking damages. He said Fantano acted with malice, a forethought, and or engaged in fraud, malice, and or oppression for Ronnie Radke.
Should we look up some of the charges against him?
Against Ronnie Radke?
Yeah.
So there's like you can look those up. There are a lot of Twitter threads or X threads. I don't give a shit. There's a lot of things on the internet you can find that'll be like very detailed about these. And there are even still people to this day who are still like talking about like, you know, this is what he did. Like I believe one of the accusations was he threw one of them was just assault. He just threw a woman into a car. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really like. I don't know if there's footage. I don't really know how that got like taken away from him. I've watched videos about this. I can't remember all of it because this guy is like a human baby. He's also a free speech guy. A human baby? An adult baby.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were going to go with it. That worked.
And sometimes this guy, like he's one of his big things that like he like, again, like he stands up for all of these like free speech people. So some people are tweeting.
So do some other people who ban free speech. So.
Exactly right. So he like people have been tweeting at him saying like, how is he going to complain about how he can't say anything and then sue people for saying things?
But he was mean.
Exactly.
Well, that's why I was saying, should we talk about some of his allegations?
Ronnie Radke's response was, yeah, you should be allowed to say what you want and also not call people racist or repeat insanely false, damning, traumatic shit. Unacceptable. Stand up for yourself. I'm like, I don't know, man. You kind of have to like. This is a tricky line. I don't really like. I'm cool with, you know, people that maybe shouldn't say all this stuff.
Sure.
But Anthony Fantano is literally just reading accusations on that video. He's not.
Yeah,
like,
and the title of that video is not. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like he's
honestly, it's kind of funny.
And if he,
this guy sucks. Like,
it's a great title. Yeah. And if you're gonna and if he's gonna go past the like just reading the accusations, he's just giving his opinion on the situation, which again is not saying like, you know, Ronnie. I mean, he might have called him those things, but that's not really like he's just butthurt. He's just upset, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna sue us now. Thank you.
Give us the attention, bitch.
Yeah,
Come on in.
exactly.
Come on in. The water is cold. Please. Come on in. So that's pretty much all that. I think that'll be something I keep bringing up because I find it super fascinating. Some you know metal vocalist that thinks he's you know the gift to music and so many different art forms is suing Anthony Fantano because Anthony Fantano said he sucked.
Just people being like very adamant about free speech and then. But also, I'm going to sue you.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
it's
like
fucked.
with the Twitter thing
Defamation.
about like, oh, free speech, but we're going to sue these companies who refuse to advertise and use our service.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, this is getting even weirder there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
so I'm not surprised by that.
no,
That sucks. That guy sucks.
That guy sucks. Yeah. That guy sucks. I don't give a shit.
I mean, if he's listening, then you suck.
Yeah, please. So
Also stop.
Yeah, please stop everything. So next is a segment that I have is three pieces of news that are related to, I would say, mostly millennials. Okay, mostly millennials. People who aren't millennials will still relate to some of this news, but we are millennials here on this podcast, so it's this is stuff we talk about. I mentioned this to you guys a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to at least talk about it. Disney announces the track list for pop punk covers album, A Whole New Sound. This is a Disney-made pop punk album where they have pop punk bands coming in and covering Disney songs.
So hold on. So we've talked about this briefly, very briefly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I've heard one of these songs before. Mm-hmm. And I figured out what it was. It was from watching mixed martial arts fights on ESPN over the weekend. and like a couple of weekends back, and they were playing one of the songs from that during one of the commercial breaks.
That's so funny.
So when they threw to commercial break, I heard Simple Plan playing like, look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
Can You Feel the Love Tonight is what they have on the album.
Maybe it was that one. Yeah. But anyway, I heard that song. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are they playing this song during a sporting event where people beat each other up?
Because corporate synergy.
Well, and then
Disney owns these bands.
Exactly.
Boom. So
they have these recordings that they're sitting on for some reason.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know when they finished this. I don't know when they made it. But
I saw something that was like multi-years, like
I think
project.
This was at least a
even
2-year
stranger.
plan. Yeah. But it could have been more. So there's 12 songs on this album. Some of this includes Newfound Glory doing Part of Your World, Simple Plan doing Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Yellow Card doing A Whole New World, We the Kings doing Go the Distance, Plain White Tees being Surface Pressure from Encanto, which I was like, that's pretty cool. They're doing like
modern
recent stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Boys Like Girls doing You'll Be in My Heart. Bowling for Soup doing Friend Like Me. I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's hilariously strange.
They got a good paycheck, and if it's not good, it's not good. Nobody will remember it.
Yeah,
but if
exactly.
it's good, it's going to be a thing people talk about.
It'll be a TikTok hit at the very least.
Honestly, that's probably like half the reason they did it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So the release date is October something. I guess they haven't said exactly, but it's in October. So we will be talking about that when it comes out.
Album of the year?
Perhaps. Yeah. Album of the year right
Oh,
there, baby.
God.
Let's go. That's a contender for me.
Is there any way that they did these re-recordings to reclaim copyright of these compositions?
Disney?
It's Disney, so yes.
So yeah.
No shot.
No, but I'm saying like they probably would have already had them protected so that they wouldn't have to worry about
No, yeah.
free use or whatever.
It's the same reason
yeah.
they put Mickey Mouse in a new thing,
Yeah.
a new short every couple of years is like to help extend.
Right. Yeah.
The copyright.
In theory, their copyright, if it
Yeah.
was challenged, they would be able to do something about it. In
Yeah.
theory.
I mean
Although that did end up expiring for like the original stuff, but like you can't use a modern looking version of Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
and that could be the case here, but I would imagine that they could find a different way to do that. That would make them
Absolutely.
more money, because this isn't going to make them a lot of money.
I think this is as a money grab.
Yeah, but like
They saw whatever the festival
we were
was in-
young?
Yeah, when we were young, they saw that happen, and somebody in the boardroom was like, "Get us that, but
Disney, that please.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
because they're gonna play these. I mean, they're not gonna make money on it if they play it on like the cruise ships and in theme parks and stuff, but they're gonna do that. They're gonna play
Yeah.
it there,
right. Yeah,
and maybe that means they get more, younger people to go to the. I mean, young people go to the parks anyway, but like
You mean us as in young, like us
Yeah.
to go see our favorite bands like Bowling for Soup?
yeah, at like at Disney World,
It's
I
like
guess,
pop
yeah.
punk land.
I sure.
What's up, everybody?
They have to do
Dude,
something
that'd be
with
sick.
Tomorrowland, so
Yeah. That would be sick actually, to show up and just see any of those bands I mentioned going, hey, what's up, everybody? Let's open up this pit. You'll be in my heart.
Now, they have to open with like a weird, obscure like Disney song too,
yeah. Well, what's the
because
opening?
nobody's gonna know they're playing. It's supposed to be a surprise.
The opening track is Part of Your World.
Is that
Part of your world.
Oh, I guess I don't know that one.
It's Little Mermaid.
I would have guessed that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for.
Or is this all a precursor to like a new Broadway musical that's revisiting Disney through
Wow.
I'm just saying, Disney can hire me. I'd sit in that boardroom.
Hey, that's a $1 million idea right there,
Yeah,
Disney.
Copyright that shit as fast as possible.
Hey,
Copyright their copyright.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So, so moving on, it would feel wrong if we don't at least mention the Oasis news.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Especially because of the history with our former host and how much we've talked about the brothers.
He's a
Yeah.
potato.
He's a potato.
Yeah. So Oasis it announced reunion.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
They backed up giant trucks of money.
True.
Doesn't matter. They've been doing that for years.
Do you also know?
I mean,
know?
I will say I don't know if they're going to actually play any of these dates.
Well, that's true.
Them. So that's step one.
Do you also know that this is the 30-year anniversary of their first album?
Oh my God.
So, to be fair, 100%, like they've said no to money before, I'm sure, but I don't know how much money they could say no to at a certain point.
How much money is left over from 30 years ago?
And like it is 30 years old, so it's like maybe they're like, you know what?
Maybe we've grown up a bit and we can be on the same stage.
No. We're talking about Liam Gallagher here.
Yeah.
He hasn't grown up an inch. But people have been saying that they've been kind of, one of them left the invitation open to reconcile.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I remember like some months ago.
the press thing that I saw was they said the guns have fallen silent, the stars have aligned, the great wait is over. Come see, it will not be televised. Mm-hmm. It's almost like Jack White wrote that.
But the dates are planned. The venues are released.
Right, and then this is all in the UK, and there are rumored dates for US that have been leaked.
We'll see if they make it here.
We'll see if they make it past the first show.
Separate planes. We have a mutual friend who is from England, and he was like, they're not going to make it through the first set.
I could imagine they will play the first couple shows maybe, and then somebody's sick and we have to cancel the other shows or cancel the US dates, and you're like, okay, we all understand why.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally understand like a perspective where they're just all kind of like doing their like they're just doing their own thing. Like the two of them just get on stage, they play, and then that's it.
I don't think they're capable of that.
I don't think so either. But like but that would be the way to do it.
They're going to have separate dressing rooms.
Yeah, for sure.
Separate buses.
That would be the case.
Separate
anyway,
airplanes. Separate catering. Separate sound checks. Probably separate contracts.
Yeah.
Separate management, separate front of house. They're going to have separate everything.
Yeah.
Front of house, separate monitor people.
That would be funny if they had separate front of house.
Yeah, I know. But the venues they're playing are big enough you could do that.
Down the middle. I have more people on my side.
But I'm also willing to bet that if anybody who was involved in actually making this happen and doing all the plans, there is some sort of contract in place that states if they don't complete all the shows, they get none of the money.
For sure. Yeah.
That's the first thing I would say to them is like,
Yeah.
we're going to pay you $1 billion each,
Yeah.
but you have to do every single thing.
Yeah. I'm sure there is that, but then again, if they're not doing it for the money alone,
Oh, they are.
well, I think they are, but like pretend they're not, right?
Yeah.
Pretend they're comfortable anyway. They have enough money.
Yes.
They're doing it because they're weirdly nostalgic now suddenly
Right.
for stopping their careers, basically.
Not Knowles.
You know what I mean. But
Arguably.
yeah,
Sure. So yeah.
I could imagine a case where they're just like, yeah, we're not going to do any more of this. Doesn't matter how much money there is. Like after they do that first show, like who knows? I think it all has to hinge on like if that first show goes well, they'll do the whole thing.
Right.
If it doesn't, we might see them cancel some dates.
And
if you're the ones announcing this like tour and managing it, you probably shouldn't announce the US dates and put tickets up until they've played a show.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
prove it can be done.
The U.S. dates just leaked. That's all I saw.
Yeah,
And so I don't. That could literally be like a total nothing.
9 dates in Texas.
Only
so
touring
funny.
Texas.
That would be hilarious. So to finish off our millennial segment, the Linkin Park countdown.
Dudes.
So Dave texted about this during like 4 minutes before the countdown was done. For those who don't know, it was on their website, right? It was a countdown, and it was a 100-hour countdown.
Yes, the website their website, everything shut down on the website, and it was I don't know. They just had a link to their YouTube channel, but it was playing the live stream video of counting down this 100-hour thing, and then below had a text option, and below had an email option for a newsletter of some sort.
Right.
Okay.
So the people were waiting.
I was.
Yeah. And go ahead. I mean, you witnessed it live, right?
I got 5 minutes in. I was checking it a little bit here and there.
Right.
Over the last 24 hours because I was like, I'm so curious, and I just want to see what the live chat was saying.
You didn't set an alarm?
No. Well, actually, I did, because I checked on it and when it was like 10 minutes left, and I was like, I do not want to miss this. So I set it to when there was 4 minutes left, and then I checked in at 4 minutes, and that's when I texted you guys like, hey, this is gonna happen in 4 minutes or whatever. And then I just sat watching it the whole time, and it got was like people were freaking the hell out. There was like 50,000 people in the live chat watching the video, and it got down. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The whole image glitched, and then it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and started counting up.
You know, I hope they announce nothing ever.
Yeah, I was about to ask, did they announce anything? Is there any rumor
Not yet. No.
Around like when this like timer started? Was there anything about
Nothing.
Hey, go look at the website?
I have found
Do
literally...
we know it's actually them who have like the website still?
I can't find a single thing about this except for the fact that 100-hour countdown made it to the end, started counting back up.
It's at 7 hours and 45 minutes right now.
It's so funny. And like, I mean, the pretty obvious thing that they're leading to would be a reunion tour with a new singer announced.
Sure.
And so
or Linkin Park too.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people who are posting memes that are like, I know everyone's asking, I am not the new singer of Linkin Park. Those memes are going around all over the place in like the alternative community.
Also from the pop punk scene that we were just referencing to,
right.
Sum 41's lead singer Derek Whitby.
Right, I did see that. Yeah. But I think he said that seriously.
So yes, because Linkin Park makes the announcement that they have the timer or whatever, people start freaking out. Derek Whitby on his Instagram, I think on the same day or the day before, said, tune in on Wednesday for a huge announcement from me.
Okay.
And so everybody was like,
yeah.
oh, fuck. That's when the Linkin Park timer goes out.
Yeah.
The lead singer of Sum 41, because Sum 41 is ending after this tour,
Right.
is going to be the new lead singer of Linkin Park.
Yeah, which would be crazy.
Yes.
That would be wild.
During his announcement, he was like, okay, because I also then immediately went to his Instagram, and he, on the video, he was saying, he's delaying his announcement because of all the news of like Oasis and Linkin Park.
Yeah.
And he had to say, like, just to clear things up, I am not the new lead singer of Linkin Park. And for some reason, I have to tell you guys that I am in no way involved in the Oasis project. He's like, although it does really tickle me to think of Noel and Liam going, you know what? We will get back together. And you know who we need? Derek Whitby from Sum 41.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So there's nothing right now. That could easily change by the time this episode's out. This could easily change about while we're doing this episode. We have literally, it's counting up, and we don't know where it's counting up.
Yeah, we don't know if it's counting back to 100 hours. Or...
It glitched again at 9 minutes and 5 seconds. And so people were saying
905 hours.
So wait, people were saying, so then people figured out,
September
okay,
5th.
That's September 5th.
Uh-huh.
Let's
That's
wait
soon. Okay,
until
yeah.
24 minutes or 25 minutes
Yeah.
to see if that means, they're going to tell us something in 2024 or 2025. I waited. Nothing happened.
Uh-huh.
In that time,
2026.
yeah, well, in that time, somebody said, hey, everybody, just so that we're all aware, from the time that they started the countdown, it can get to 0, get back up to 100, and back down to 0, and it'll be September 5th.
So they're just like triple dipping in
Exactly.
how much attention they get.
That is the funniest thing, and then what they're gonna do is when it's over, they're gonna announce their greatest hits part 2 because they just did their greatest hits for the first time this year.
And then Linkin Park said 8 hours ago at the time, they said it's only a matter of time. ...
Jesus, oh my God.
This feels either like really well thought out or so poorly.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean,
but the fans were pissed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's
They were
what I
like-
mean. Like that's why I would say it's poorly thought out, is because
Yeah.
you're gonna upset people.
People in other time zones were like, I literally fucking took off work.
Well, maybe don't do that.
Well, they're like huge Linkin Park fans,
Right,
and they're
but
like,
you can also find out.
so excited.
There's this new thing called the internet.
I
You can
know.
also find out after the fact.
People were also like, because of the time zone differences, they're like, I stayed up until 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
And I have work early in the morning.
now that one I could see a little bit more because
Again,
it's like
maybe don't do that if it's that.
Sure. Be a responsible human being.
Yeah, or
but
I
it
promise
su-
you,
it
the
sucks that
internet
they
will
had to
tell
count
you
down.
about this later.
Of course.
So
Dude.
But you want it, where were you when they announced the new?
I won't
in bed.
care.
Yeah.
I
And
won't remember.
People were like, this is bad, but people were saying, oh, they must have thought they could wake Chester up in 100 hours. And now that it's counting up, they're seeing how much longer it's taking them to wake him up. And I'm like, oh no, that's so bad.
Jesus fucking. Okay, well, anyway.
I mean, it was a live chat room, so
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for certain chat rooms, for certain chats,
not that bad.
It's not that bad. No. Not that bad. Okay, so now it's time for us to discuss what we're here to discuss, and it's personally, at this time of the election, it's my favorite thing to talk about as a musician. But to give the full story for those who don't know, was it Saturday? This past Saturday?
Yes.
RFK was it Sunday?
Oh, I thought it was Saturday.
I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that it was. I thought it was weird on what day it happened. So I think it was Sunday.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong. Anyway, sometime this past weekend.
Yeah.
RFK announced.
Junior.
Yeah, RFK Jr.
Yeah, he didn't come back.
Yeah, sorry. Officially announced that he is dropping out of the race and is endorsing Trump. Okay. Now, before I get into what happened at that endorsement, it is really funny that he dropped out of the race because in some states they are not taking him off the ballot.
He dropped out too late.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they had already started printing ballots in some states.
So those states will not be removing him from the ballot.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of
he couldn't
RFK
even
Jr.
drop
fans.
out correctly.
Yeah, so funny.
So what does that mean for the two nominees?
What do you mean?
Like,
Because he was running independent.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
So he'll
matter.
still be on
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
ballot.
he'll be on the ballot. Yeah.
So if you're voting for him, it will matter even less than it would have before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have thoughts about him.
Yeah.
So
My favorite thing is when he talks, he sounds like a TikTok filter.
My favorite thing is
his
that
voice has always been like that.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't know that I've heard him speak.
Oh, anyway,
He has
that's
some,
not
he has
what
some
we're
kind
gonna do.
of, not disease isn't the right word, but some kind of like
It's a condition.
condition that affects how he
Higgins.
speaks.
I feel really bad about it, but that man sucks.
Yeah, I know.
That man
Yeah.
sucks so bad, and also like he legitimately sounds like a TikTok filter.
Yeah,
like
okay.
he like it's crazy.
Is it high? Are we going high pitch or low pitch here?
No, it's that like shaky voice, that kind of yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I do feel bad making fun of it, but man, it is incredible.
my favorite thing about him is that he's married to Cheryl Hines, who is she played Larry
in Curb.
David's wife
Yeah.
on Curb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were like, man, she cannot catch a break on TV or in real life
Yeah,
with husbands.
Yeah, he's got a lot of shit that's really fucked about him and really bad about him, but that's not what we're here to say.
yeah.
Well, that preface actually is kind of relevant a little bit.
No, it is because before he dropped out, he went and asked the Harris campaign if they would put him in the cabinet,
Right.
or nominate him for something, and they were just like, "We're not going to talk to you."
By the
And so
way,
that's why he endorsed Trump.
Did
He was
you-
like, "Well,
yeah.
he took my phone call and said yes, he would make me attorney general or whatever."
did you guys see? Did you guys watch any of his stuff during the debate?
No.
What?
So he live streamed himself responding to every question.
Oh, I'm not surprised by that.
It was awesome. So like,
Oh, the Biden and
the Biden-Trump
yeah.
debate. So he live streamed himself.
I should go watch that. That sounds fun.
It's awesome. It's so funny because like he has people in his studio with him. Obviously, like he has money. He has whatever.
He's not running. He's not a crazy person running his campaign
Right.
by himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got
He's surrounded by
quite a-
other crazy people.
Yeah, and he has a family history kind
Right.
of with politics.
So anyway, that's not
Yeah,
neither here nor
kind
there.
of.
Kinda.
Neither here nor there. So when Trump announced that that RFK Jr. was endorsing him, they brought him on stage at the rally, and they played "My Hero" by the Foo Fighters.
'Cause when you think of heroes, you think of RFK Jr.
So that's the first funny thing I thought was I was like, what is he saying here? Is Trump saying
Is
RFK
Trump-
is
yeah.
my hero?
That's
like,
what it sounds
is
like.
this?
But I
No.
would think Trump's hero is Trump.
Yeah, I was going to say Trump is saying RFK is saying that Trump is his hero.
Well, the setting was backwards.
I know.
because it was a Trump rally.
He's trying to get
Yeah.
his voters.
right.
So I
Yeah.
can see being like, yeah, he's our hero. You guys come over here.
It's a bizarre song choice just on its own merits because
Yeah.
like you if you're a Foo Fighters fan or if you're any sort of if you understand the history of like Dave Grohl, you might listen to that song and have so many different things you could extrapolate from the lyrics of that song, or you could just take it at face value for the lyrics are, and it's its own thing, right? But when Trump announces RFK Jr. to walk up on stage and you hear "There Goes My Hero," and it's like, wait a minute, what are you saying with this statement? Because it doesn't.
Is he leaving?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to point out, because we're talking about the Kennedys, his entire family released a statement saying, we do not agree with Robert's decision to endorse Trump.
Not even just a statement. Like, when he announced he was running for a campaign, they all went to the White House and had lunch with Biden.
Oh my God.
It's so funny.
Like, as a family, like all 50 plus Kennedys.
Minus him.
Yeah.
And they were like, don't do this.
Right.
Like, don't make sure he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Look in Central Park, please.
So shortly after that, there were accounts that were tweeting at the Foo Fighters saying, "Hey, did you let Trump use My Hero to welcome RFK Jr. on the stage?" And Foo Fighters quickly responded, "No," and then screenshotted that and tweeted that screenshot and said, "Let us be clear," saying, "No, we did not give them permission to do this."
Which I think we've talked about before. You don't have to give permission.
Sure. Which I think we'll spend a lot of time today going over how that works.
Right. And especially if we're using history as an indication, Trump does not care if he has permission.
Right.
They will just use your song.
So before we go too deep into this, I do want to read a tweet from a guy who is his title on Twitter is Breaker of Narratives. He's a free speech guy. He does call out both sides, but is very much a conservative person and speaker on Twitter. And this is what he had to say about the whole thing. He said, "Breaking: the Foo Fighters are attacking Donald Trump on Twitter over their song being heard at the Arizona rally during RFK Jr.'s appearance. Almost every artist that complains doesn't even own the rights to their music. They don't have to give permission. Most of the time, the outrage is a liberal tactic to make Donald Trump appear ignorant or disliked. To think a man with as many companies as Trump as many companies as Trump has wouldn't understand copyright is absurd. The Foo Fighters have yet to announce if they have legal grounding to proceed court." Which is just...
Hold on, question. You said Arizona?
That's what they said.
That's one of the states where the ballots have already been printed with RFK. That's great.
That's so good.
Let's have a rally for the... Oh, man, that's amazing.
And remember, everyone that's watching the Trump rally, you can still vote for him.
Yeah.
So
they might get the wrong message.
the primary thing to discuss, I think, well, there's a lot of things to discuss here, but one of the big things is how and why, like, can they pick music? Like you said, they can just do what they want. Trump doesn't care in the kind of like big picture idea. But let's take this tweet for a second. This person said almost every artist that complains doesn't even own the rights to their music. I want to not talk about Foo Fighters for a second and look back at July when Trump used Beyonce's, what was it, Texas Hold'em?
Yeah.
He used Beyonce's Texas Hold'em. Are you gonna tell me that Beyonce does not own the rights to her music? Are you saying that, oh, her husband Jay-Z does? That's how this... No, fucker. Beyonce owns the rights to her music. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Of course these artists, some of them don't. Some of them, like
we've talked about. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like this statement it comes from this like really ignorant notion that we've watched the Taylor Swift dramas happen about the Masters, and we've watched people sell the rights to their music.
And we've learned nothing.
Exactly. We still just think that because of these people having experiences like getting screwed over by record labels, that therefore they don't own the rights to their music.
Well, and also early on in their career, like the Beyonce one, for example, like she's going to own the rights to anything she does now.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't own the rights for anything else beforehand.
Yeah.
Definitely the newest album.
But if we look at Foo Fighters, everything except for the first album, I believe, was made through Dave Grohl's label.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only other thing
turns out this wasn't his first band. So
Roswell
Records. Yeah. And the only like larger company is that it's through RCA, but RCA is the distributor. They don't but that doesn't mean they own the rights to the song.
Right. They don't front any of the money for production or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
sorry, Trump also tried to use the song Freedom
oh, really?
at some point. Yeah.
I just knew that the Texas Hold'em one was like sometime in July.
Yeah.
And just a bold choice. Just a really, really bold choice.
I mean, we do have to point out this guy on Twitter thinks he's right
all the time.
Yeah.
This seems to be his thing, right?
It's 100% his thing. So as we have said, Foo Fighters said we did not this was not our thing. We did not approve this. I don't know when this happened exactly, but sometime between then and now, a spokesman for Trump tweeted out, "It's times like these, facts matter. Don't be a pretender," using Foo Fighter track names.
What a bad.
Bad man.
They went too far.
Yeah.
You could have done one of those and it would have worked.
So this was there's kind of a conflicting thing here, because some people in the Trump camp have said like, well, of course we didn't get permission, like we wouldn't have they wouldn't have said yes. And then there's this guy, the spokesperson, that said, basically we got permission, screenshotting the fact that it's like the BMI stuff. It's the BMI ASCAP stuff. We have a license to play the song. I do want to take a pause before we go too much further. And Dave, when you called me when I had to go to work so soon, you had called to mention about the cover band that played.
It's being courteous.
It's tell me about the cover bands. Can you tell me a little bit about the cover band that played at was it the RNC?
Yes, it was at the RNC, and they played just in terms of a gig. They played the entire 4 nights,
Jesus,
and 5 or 6 hours at a time.
Yeah,
filling in all the gaps. The band was called. They were from Nashville. They're called Six Wire. They played covers of famous songs, and just information about the band. Excuse me. They played many notable events. They've played the last 6 Super Bowls, the Daytona 500, the NFL Draft. They were the house band for Connie Britton's character on the ABC show Nashville. This is the first time playing a major political convention for the band. And although the keyboard player was who they were interviewing, although he's happy to talk about the music, he said he doesn't want to talk about politics.
Good for him. So the cover band playing at the RNC, playing at all these events, and yet we have to get rights for something. How does that work?
Right. So the thing is this is from a quote from a lawyer. He said, if the band plays covers, then they can avoid using sound recordings and thus would not need licenses for performing sound recordings. But they would still need a PRO, which is Performing Rights Organization license for the venue, probably ASCAP, BMI.
Yeah.
In the venue, if the venue has their BMI or ASCAP license, then the cover band can get away with playing these songs.
Right.
Essentially, that's what it was. But going further, he said, playing covers helps avoid the PR problem because I would expect musicians will be less angry or offended if they find out that a song they recorded was played by someone else rather than the recording of their song was used featuring their voice at a rally for a politician with whom they disagree.
Right. At least some musicians got paid.
Right.
Playing it. There's a lot of
Probably
upsides where it
lot of
doesn't
money.
imply a lot of it doesn't imply an endorsement, whereas playing the song could, to some people, imply an endorsement.
It would seem to be a loophole.
Right. So the way that like you said, in theory, the way that this works is that the venue pays to allow for a cover band and for themselves, even over the radio, to play certain songs, and they pay ASCAP and BMI. So in theory, the quote unquote reason that works that way is so that in theory, every time a song is covered in a live performance, the writers of that song hypothetically would get paid for it. And has nothing to do with the cover band themselves, right? That's they don't have to worry about that at all. But when we're talking about using a song for an event for a political rally, they treat it the same way like a TV show or a movie treats it, where they still have to get rights. Well, they don't have to, right? But they should get rights to play these songs. And this is something that I was thinking about while I was reading all this. I was like, should they just stop playing songs and just have cover bands play every single time they do something?
God, please no.
I mean, that would be like the thing, right? That way there's no issues at all with like this is not like I'm trying to come up with a solution for Trump or anything.
Well, yeah.
But this would be the way to remove any sort of problem from artists. Artists don't have the BMI and ASCAP things are already taken care of, and there's no extra thing they have to take care of, and they just have a cover band playing on these people. That way the cost is like there's I mean, yes, obviously publicity is publicity and that is part of it, but that would remove the artists from the equation, right? I mean, at least right now legally.
Yeah, I was going to say until they change those laws, if that's the route that the RNC chooses to take in the future,
right?
Or any of the Republican conventions.
I would assume a big part of this for Trump specifically is getting media attention by causing controversy and looking like he's being suppressed by big music or whatever.
Big music.
Big music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money in big music.
Well,
there is if you're Dave Grohl.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, but Dave Grohl's also not big music. Dave Grohl is like, he's like, I don't like the guy. Like he was like right after that happened, the Foo Fighters gave a sizable donation to the Harris campaign.
All the royalties they received from a surge in people listening to the song after the appearance of that song on the convention. It was like, we're donating all of that to the Harris Walls
Which
campaign.
again, I don't think, like, from a media strategy point, like, it seems intentional by Trump to do that. It doesn't matter if it raises more money for Harris and they don't care. Ultimately gets him in the news cycle again and, like, plays well to his base, who's like, we're all those Hollywood elites influencing the election, blah blah blah. Like you can see the story works for like both halves of it basically, and like they don't have to care if it's illegal. They get sent a cease and desist, and get told not to do it again, and then they go on to another artist. Yeah, because they only have Kid Rock. So
yeah, and Ted Nugent.
If I could say something potentially so bold and so mean, I think that a large part of this is that that they do want publicity, they get attention from it, all this kind of stuff. But I would also say that most of the artists that would give them permission suck.
Oh yeah,
like suck.
Right.
Like they're bad. Like I don't want to just say like, oh, the left makes better artists, but like
it does.
But like it does.
Oh, you mean the part of the country that's genuinely more caring.
Makes better art in
more
general.
sympathetic, more emotional.
Right. Yeah.
The snowflakes don't make better art than the
fucking hard asses.
The bullets.
Yeah, the bullets. That's what we should start. Even though, well, no, I'm not doing that. That is. I think that's a really like. Again, publicity is a big thing, but I was thinking about it a lot. Of like, it's kind of crazy. Like this. There's so much music you have to take from the other side because you want that music because it's fucking better than what Kid Rock does, because it's better than what Ted Nugent does, because it's better than all of these like right-wing like rappers that are these white guys that say the N-word that are all rapping about free speech and guns, and that's all they can fucking talk about.
Yeah,
like
those are just Twitter threads that somebody started.
But I can't think. I even looked. I tried to look for a notable example of
even like a country artist.
Yeah, or even a country artist.
You would think there would be more of an association. There historically used to be.
Yeah.
With conservatives.
But there's not.
And even even all those country artists are like, no, we don't want to be involved with that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not that they're necessarily saying we want to be involved with the Harris Walls campaign. Yeah. They're saying we don't want to be affiliated with a political campaign.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the people that you might suspect would go towards the Republican side. Yeah.
Now, I know that you have, and this is not meant to be like a. I mean, we can't really punch down to Trump because, but it's not meant to be just a simply bashing session. But it's more just a note of how much this has happened. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but you have that Wikipedia article.
Yes, I do.
I have a couple of these from.
I was going to say there's an entire page dedicated to this.
Exactly right. But just to give some perspective, from 2016 to 2020, some of the artists that were played that didn't want to be: Rihanna, Phil Collins, Neil Young, Pharrell, Rolling Stones, Adele, Guns N' Roses, and the estate of the Beatles all spoke out against Trump using their music, and it just keeps happening.
I got more. Aerosmith, Aha, Beyonce, Bruce Springsteen, Celine Dion, Creedence Clearwater Revival, which kind of was a surprise for me.
That's a little surprising.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, Elton John, Isaac Hayes is a big one.
Yeah.
Leonard Cohen, Linkin Park, speaking of Linkin Park, Neil Young, also a big one. Nickelback, Ozzy Osbourne, Panic at the Disco. Did you say Pharrell Williams?
I did.
Okay, Pharrell Williams. Queen, Prince's Estate, REM, Sinead O'Connor, Tom Petty, Twisted Sister, The Village People, The white stripe and the white stripes.
And just to
Those are examples.
Yeah. Just to clarify, also, this is a quote from a lawyer about how this works. A license is required for any use of music, whether in a venue, convention, online, via YouTube, or social media platform. That's why when we play music on here, we get hit with copyright stuff. Now, we are not monetized on YouTube, so there's nothing for them to take from us. Or ban us entirely, because we're not taking money from something else, right? We're not like there's
it's non-commercial,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's required to get that stuff. So in fact, actually, related to what we do here on YouTube, but also on Twitch, they actually created a new agreement for DJ streamers, because there's DJ streamers on Twitch are a big deal. It's a very large category, and they actually made a thing now where DJ streamers can agree to a policy where they're going to take a slight pay cut, but can play whatever the fuck they want and not get taken down.
Right. That's a good trade-off.
Yeah. That's a great trade-off. You do have to only stream in the DJ category, and you have to be DJing. If they catch you like not DJing, they're going to be like, cool, we're done with that. But the point being that like this is a thing that is across all platforms. We talked about it before in the live streaming world, but it's a thing that exists around all of this. And if the people like us who are very small get our YouTube stream taken down, we're listening to Lizzie McAlpine, like, you know, that's such a small price to pay for us. But if Trump plays everybody, it's like, you know, cease and desist, move on, just a bunch of this stuff. The other thing to note is that even if these artists are asked, like, are required like permission, if they got asked or given money, the artist can still say no. And that was a really big deal for Dave Grohl in sense of the Foo Fighters, as far as, if I remember right, Guitar Hero and Rock Band went. That was, and also I think it was there was another TV show that he kept saying no to.
Glee.
It was Glee, yeah. So Glee kept being like, we'll pay you this much money. He's like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of this.
And if what happened if Glee was like, cool, we're doing My Hero, like that would have been a disaster for them.
Yeah.
A lot of publicity, but it would have been a disaster.
Especially in that case, because like we mentioned earlier, they do own the rights to everything.
Yeah.
And so they would have taken full legal counsel.
And
against
it's
them.
more difficult on a TV thing. Like, is it worth the lawsuit to go after a live event that, yes, was recorded and, like, you know, streamed everywhere, but is that worth the same thing as like taking an episode out of a TV show? Probably not.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, similar.
It's just kind of looking at the way that, like,
right.
the we still have the way that these work, like, kind of like, you know, there's a lot of crossover between all of them, between a live stream space, TV, movies, rallies, conventions, all these sorts of things. They especially if they're that public, they have to get they should get that kind of permission. So yeah, I mean, for me, the largest takeaway here is that, like, the way that these licensing things work tends to be, like, in the case of political stuff, in the case of these kind of like more isolated, smaller incidents, it's like, fuck you, we'll deal with it later. Trump being the primary example, but like it's not the same as, that's definitely not the same as like TV and movies, right?
Yeah. TV is going to go through lawyers to verify things are allowed. Whereas a campaign will very often move very fast and just be like, well, we'll figure it out later. Like,
yeah, especially, you know, in this case where they're doing many different locations. So some people have said, like, if the RNC were, any of Trump's things were all in the same place, he could use all the songs that venue has a right to.
Yeah.
And because they're moving around so much to different locations, it's better for him legally to secure the rights to the songs that he wants to use the entire time. Because he didn't do that, we're seeing him using all these other songs, and people just continue to keep shutting him down. But there are legal ramifications for it, because we keep saying that it's a cease and desist and then move on. But people are actually taking him to court. So I mentioned Isaac Hayes before, because the family of Isaac Hayes says, so they're criticizing Trump for using the Sam and Dave song, Hold On, I'm Coming. I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
They have said, like, hey, we are suing him $150,000 every time he uses this song.
Yeah.
And doesn't get the rights for it, doesn't secure the rights for it. And we're never going to give him the rights to it.
Yeah.
So they're taking him to court, and they have a very strong case for him to be
Yeah, I think it's very
on the line for
cut
$3
and
million.
dry.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very cut and dry, like legally, if you get it to
Yeah.
that point.
And so they're supposed to have a hearing on September 3rd.
I hope my only fear is I hope that happens. I hope the hearing happens. Trump has gotten away from all so many things he shouldn't have gotten away from, and that's my only fear with it, because it shouldn't be just a cease and desist and move on. But it will end up being so much of a pain in the ass, especially just with the back and forth of dealing with all of these, and who knows. I don't know personally. I'm actually saying who knows if the presidential immunity thing now will play any role with that.
Right. Good luck suing a president.
Yeah, I don't know how that will work.
I mean, he's not currently. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know how that all will work. I'm actually saying that. I'm not saying a speculation thing.
Yeah, let us know.
No,
Who knows?
make a thread on Twitter and post about it as if you know what
Exactly.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll send you a Cybertruck. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean, and this kind of takes me back to a little bit when we were talking about the Foo Fighters Taylor Swift thing, but people are all on Twitter saying well, who cares about these fucking hacks? No one cared about them anyway. Now they get attention. They're doing this for attention, that kind of thing. I'm I don't know what fucking rock you're under, but in the mind of living rock bands, I am biased. I know I'm biased. If you're watching this, you see the poster behind Dave that's a little green. That's a Foo Fighters poster, and I've got plenty of those around my fucking house. But I don't think it's
You have
truly,
3 of them in this room.
Yeah. I don't think it's truly that biased to say that it's that they're one of the biggest rock bands alive and one of the only actual from the perspective of boomers rock bands
Yeah,
alive.
no electronics.
Yeah, no tracks
They're all playing banjo.
they're miking a banjo for the arena to hear.
Except for Rami, the keyboard player, who has a guitar.
Yeah. And that's for me, that's just such a weird thing to see people who I associate with, which may be just a bias of mine, but seeing people who I view to be maybe on the boomer side be no one cares about the Foo Fighters anyway. Bitch, this is what you complain about in music all the fucking time.
Yeah, and also, how many of you had to look up who Kid Rock was, you fucking morons?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's funny that
That's the rock they're living under.
Yeah.
The Kid Rock. That doesn't sound good.
Damn, I fully expected a.
Oh fuck! Say it again.
That's the rock they're living under. Yeah, just fix the post.
I'll edit it.
Yeah. He'll edit it. I just think it's funny how this whole thing is playing.
That sounded really upset.
For the listeners, I air quoted.
Sure you did.
I edit it, just not that way.
Yeah.
I edited a lot of the last episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
You don't listen to it?
No, I watched it a little
okay.
bit, but
I haven't edited that yet. But I also don't want to edit the video.
no, don't edit the video.
Yeah.
Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, you made me mad.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's genuine, it's very genuine. Yeah, it's just funny seeing the people's reactions to this and reading about all the artists that I didn't know where they stood politically, because I had no idea the list was this long.
Oh, it's huge.
And some of them,
Honestly, that list is not long enough.
no, I
Yeah,
know,
that too,
absolutely.
yeah.
But I was surprised by some of these people on the list, and then it was funny just seeing people talking about country. Wow, I keep burping only when I'm talking. Jason Isbell played at the Democratic National Convention, and people were like, aren't you worried about losing that fan base of Republican people? He's like,
I don't know if you've looked at Jason Isbell's Twitter, but
I don't know if you've listened to his lyrics before.
yeah, and he goes, I'm not getting paid for streaming.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fucking matter. They get it for free anyway.
Yeah.
But also, no, I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, that truly was one of the best things to see with the Foo Fighters thing. See people being like, "Wow, I used to love this band. Now they're at the bottom of my playlist." I'm like, well, "They're still on your playlist.
They're still on your
dumbass."
playlist. Yeah, they're getting paid from that.
Yeah.
Also, how long is that playlist? Is it 20 songs? And
They can only count to 50. So,
It's 19 Kid Rock songs.
yeah, exactly.
And My
yeah.
Hero 30 times.
Yeah, it's a really wild thing, and I would hope that legal action comes in the right way. I hope that there is some kind of punishment for this, but likely not, because the way that this works is so it seems like it should be so hammered out. Like the law should cover it. Like there should be like all these things taking care of it, but it just isn't. It doesn't seem to work that way for the most part.
Yeah,
So,
there has to be a harmony of the politician securing the license, then the artist actually signing off on endorsing the politician in order for it to really work out.
You don't have to endorse the politician. Just say, cool.
Yeah.
Move on. Like it's a super. Again, it's a TV example, and it's a really bad TV example, but I'm gonna give it anyway. But it's a Foo Fighters example. I very famously amongst my friend group love bad TV. I love Grey's Anatomy. I'm a big fan of like the CW TV shows, especially the superhero ones like Arrow and Flash.
You're a very complex man.
Complex, great word. So I in one of the last seasons of the Flash, which is as a huge Flash fan, is like heaping piles of trash.
The last season, specifically, right?
Specifically the last season, but the last 2 seasons were horrible. I'll give the season before that a little grace because it was during COVID, so they get a little grace there. Anyway, second to last season, they used Razor by Foo Fighters, which is one of my favorite songs. And it was during a great moment. It was actually during a moment of the season that was good. I was watching it and I was like, wow, I can't believe they used this song. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, yeah, Dave Grohl doesn't like this, but like I'm sure he was like, cool, that's whatever. Like, like it's not Glee, it's not like it's not like Rock Band or whatever. It's not Guitar Hero. It's not some musical
they asked him
thing.
And he's like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like
one of those Marvel things.
And one of the
That's
producers,
cool. Marvel thing's good. They got a lot of money.
one of the producers for the show was like, I want to use Razor by the Foo Fighters. I'm like, what song is that?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's not my hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard that one before. And it's used beautifully, but like when you watch it, like if you watch that and think to yourself, and I could be wrong about this, but if you watch this and think to yourself, wow, Dave Grohl must love The Flash, you're dead fucking wrong.
Right.
Like
He's never seen The Flash.
There's no way. And so that's the thing here. I don't think these musicians need to endorse the politician.
No,
I just think that
don't.
it would be an important thing to say, like, yes, you can use this. That's okay with me. This is strictly business in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's how that used to be.
Right.
Pre-2016.
Yeah.
I
Right.
have to assume. But
Yeah.
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 Well, even though we talked about like the breakup stuff, we talked about the Eagles and what was the other member's name?
Don Felder.
Yeah. And they were playing the political rally, and he was like, I don't want to make this political. That's a little closer because they actually played a rally, but like
that's a little different. But it's also that's a job.
Yeah.
So like.
They got paid a lot of money for that, I'm
it
sure.
is.
So
Yeah.
it's like, cool, we got paid for this, and maybe they had to say something about the person they were playing for, but realistically speaking, they could just play, do their job, call it a day.
Well, that's the thing is that cover band that played at the RNC. I mean, would you say yes to that gig if they were offering like $3,000 a day per musician?
Yeah, I mean that's
Fuck, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. That's a toughie.
Say, you don't think about it. You would.
And-
Nobody's going to remember, no offense, the cover band who played
No,
the RNC
absolutely
in
not.
2024.
Oh,
Yeah.
and like
Nobody's going to like go on it. Well, I say no. Most people are not going to go on Twitter and like try to find you and like make it a thing.
that's a show I don't want to say. I don't want to take set breaks at. That's the
Yes,
the gig
exactly,
where I'll
yeah.
keep playing through.
Give me
Because,
an isolated green room.
Sure.
And a couple of hazmat suits and an STD test for some reason.
and not for.
And maybe a priest.
And not for some of the reasons potentially, but even some of just like talking to like that group of people, just like oh yeah, I'll play guitar too, like that kind of shit. Like get me away from that. But like that to me, I think that I would say yes and treat it as business, and I wouldn't tell anybody I'm doing it. I just say I have a cover.
Sure.
Except you're on national television.
But who's
you're not really
none of my friends
Right,
are fucking
sure.
watching the RNC, dude.
That's very true. But the other thing is, and I hate to say this, is that they probably got a fuckload of private party gigs out of that.
Yeah.
Because all those assholes that are like, that's the band that played at the RNC, would hire them for my third wife's 45th birthday party.
Yeah, I think just the
I don't know why he's Southern, but I just imagine that.
I think-
we're making assumptions.
Yeah.
I think head down, just letting that happen is unfortunate in that situation, but would be probably what I'd end up doing. And I don't like those guys saying they don't have any political leanings like very publicly is a really good thing to do and go like, yeah, we played this stuff. You said they played the Super Bowl.
Maybe they play both sides. They play the RNC and the DNC.
Yeah, maybe.
There
yeah,
you go. Maybe
yeah.
they did. They played several Super Bowls. Not obviously not the Super Bowl, but like at
Some
a Super
team
Bowl
has this
somewhere in
some room,
capacity.
some room that, exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a tricky thing, I feel, but I do think my solution is probably the best for them, and they should just run with having a cover band and play everybody on. I think that would be the best, and just keep. This is a W for everybody here. They don't well, except for the publicity side. But aside from the publicity side, it's a W because they don't get hit with lawsuits from playing music they don't want people to hear. And then the musicians get paid more because like this cover band's gonna get played on fucking national television for like, you know, could you imagine if it was a Foo Fighters tribute band playing My Hero in the corner? Like that's a I know that tribute bands actually have a different
agreement.
Agreement, but you get my point, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just you know, it's a tough call.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
The last thing I'll say about them is that they nowhere on their social media is it posted that they were playing the convention while they were playing the convention or after the fact.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
they're
one of
not
those
tagged
gigs.
in anything.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those gigs you don't, whether you agree or not, you don't acknowledge
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Because those are like, you got to be, I assume, the person helping, you know, organize music for the DNC and the RNC doesn't want any drama of any kind, leaning left or right.
Yeah.
So you want to
From
go,
their house band.
You want to go if the people in the band are going to be like, yeah, we're not going to post about it. It doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's part of what you're paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I think that's all we have on this for now. I think that this probably again will be one of those things we keep talking about a little bit, but especially as the news comes up more. But just I think that's all we have on. Unless you guys have more on licensing right now. No.
So we're not going to see this in a My Hero and a Trump ad soon?
No.
Like the Beyonce song?
That would be awesome. But no, I don't think so. You guys want to talk about what you're listening to?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds so enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'll do it. That's fine.
I can go first, actually, because I don't have it in the title. I don't know why I looked at my phone. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds have a new album coming out this week. I ordered the record and got it today, so I took a break from work and listened to it. It's great. It's weirdly optimistic after the last 3-4 albums that he had that were all not optimistic.
Okay.
They're very much like him dealing with his, age and loss of his son and other personal things. And this is a oddly optimistic album. It's really fun. They're kind of like back to form kind of thing.
Yeah.
For them as a whole band and not just like him and strings.
Is it optimistic lyrically or musically or both?
Both. Yeah,
Okay,
a mix
that's cool.
of both. There's still some plenty of like emotion and like parts
feel
that
like-
are sad.
Yeah,
but
like the darkness of the sound.
Yeah, it's much more varied.
Okay, cool. Very nice.
I've been listening to Gillian Welch and David Rawlings' new duo record called Woodland, and it's beautiful. And that's it.
Nice. So I like there's a few things that I started to listen to, but I only really finished one of them. And I get a lot of whenever artists I love, I've said this before on the show, and I'll always say, whenever artists I love on social media post an album or an artist that they are really into, I'm like, I gotta go check it out because I must understand what you like. And a lot of times I don't like it at all. And especially with this particular person, Theo Katzman, when he posts stuff, I'm like, it's fine, or I get why you like it. But there's sometimes where it cuts through. This is one of those examples. Aaron Lee Tasjan, Tasgan or Jan, sorry. I know nothing about this man except for it's like a little bit of goofy songwriting and like the like the lyrics are goofy, but everything else around it is so well arranged, so well put together. It's catchy as fuck. The first song, Alien Space Queen, I put it on and I was like, I can't stand this little synth line. It's so annoying, and it's arranged so well that synth line is in the whole song, and by like the first pre-chorus I love it, but it starts that way and I'm like, shut it off. But I gave it a chance and I was so thankful I did, because it was a banger. It's so fucking good. So that's Stellar Evolution by Aaron Lee Tasjan. Very, very good stuff.
Cool.
Anybody got anything else?
No.
Awesome. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. We appreciate you so much. If you're listening on a podcast app and you haven't followed or subscribed on that podcast app, hey, why don't you do that? Because that helps us. If you are on a podcast app and you want to see our faces, go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Like the video. If you're on YouTube right now and you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel, hey, please do those things. They help us out a ton. If you're on Excuse me. If you're on social media and you haven't followed us, DFTA Podcast on Instagram, Don't Feed the Artist on TikTok. We post about all the stuff when we go live, all that good stuff on there. And if you have any topic suggestions, if you want to say hi, if you want to give your 2 cents about licensing, if you know any of the things that I was questioning, if you know the answers to those, email us at feedback@don'tfeedtheartist.com, or you can DM those social medias. Patreon. Come join us at Patreon. You can find it on there. Patreon.dfta podcast, I think is what it is. I don't know. Patreon.com/DFTA podcast.
That one.
Shut the fuck up. Please join us over there. You can listen to the new Taylor Swift album with us. It's pain. It's pain for Dave. That's a spoiler alert, I guess. But it's awesome. You should. It doesn't give. Just saying it doesn't really give enough credence to how much pain was felt. It's truly magical. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. Fun Friday?
I think so.
Great.
Sounded
Hopefully,
very hesitant.
if you're not
Earlier than we normally do it.
okay. Okay. If you're not
He
already,
needs enough time to go to work.
I got to work on Saturday morning, so. It's a joke. It was a fucking joke.
if you're not already aware, on Fridays we tend to do Fun Fridays where we listen to new music and you guys can come hang out in the chat and show us new music as well. Hang out with us, all that good shit. So if you're around on Friday in the afternoon, tune in and see if we're live. And we'll post about it if it's going to happen. So cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it so much. Oh, buttons.
Fuck off! Get rid of town!
Bye, and make sure to get the rights for things like this podcast. If you play it somewhere, get the rights. I didn't get Adam's rights to play
I was
that
about
sound.
to say, where are the rights for
Shut up. Shut up.